Lisbon's famous for its old yellow trams and tiled buildings. But honestly, the real magic is in the food. I've eaten my way through the city, and today I'm sharing 8 dishes that absolutely blew me away. If you're hungry for something local, this list is where to start. Hi, I'm Anna, and after visiting over 100 countries, I've learned that the best way to understand a place is through its food. Today, I'm taking you on a culinary journey through Lisbon with dishes that locals actually eat, not the watered-down tourist versions. Number 1, Pastéis de Nata. Let's start with the most obvious and most delicious dish, Pastéis de Nata. I had one of those within an hour of landing in Lisbon, and I still think about it. It's this flaky golden tart filled with warm egg custard that's silky on the inside and caramelized on top, kind of like creme brulee meets puff pastry. When it's fresh from the oven, it's unreal. The original version comes from the Geronimus Monastery in Belém. Monks started baking them in the 1800s to use up leftover egg yolks, and eventually the recipe ended up at what's now Pastéis de Belém. I went there on a weekday morning. Pro tip, go early. And honestly, it lived up to the hype. The crust was still warm. The custard had that little bit of scorch on top, and I may or may not have had 3. But if you're staying in the center of Lisbon and don't want to go all the way to Belém, check out Monte Garia. It's one of my favorite bakeries in the city. You can watch them make the tarts through a glass wall, and they hand them over still warm, with a little cinnamon and powdered sugar. I always get 2. One disappears immediately, and the second also disappears immediately. Just trust me on this one. Number 2, bacalhau à Brás. There's so many ways to cook bacalhau in Portugal, but bacalhau à Brás might be my favorite, especially in Lisbon, where it was actually created. I first tried it in a tiny restaurant in Bairro Alto, and I don't even fully know what I was ordering. It showed up as this golden mix of shredded cod, onions, crispy potato sticks, and scrambled eggs, all folded together like a savory, slightly crunchy, slightly creamy mountain of deliciousness. It's really comforting, even if you're not normally into salted cod. I was surprised how balanced it tasted. The egg makes it creamy, the potatoes give it crunch, and it just works. Traditionally, it's topped with black olives and parsley and served with rice, though honestly, it doesn't need anything extra. Legend has it that this version of bacalhau came from a tavern owner named Brás, right here in Lisbon. The story checks out because I found some of the best plates in this neighborhood. For the most traditional experience, I'd recommend Laurentina, or Rei do Bacalhau. It's a sit-down spot with old-school service, and it really lives up to its King of Cod nickname. If you want something more modern, head to Time Out Market. There's a stall there that does a slightly more refined version with all the traditional flavors. Either way, I promise it'll make you a bacalhau believer. Number 3, Bifana sandwich. One thing I learned quickly in Lisbon, never underestimate a sandwich. The Bifana looks simple, just marinated pork in a bun, but it packs a punch. I grabbed my first one at a street corner near Rocio, and I remember thinking, okay, this is going to be dry. Nope. The pork was juicy. The bread was crusty, and the flavor had this mix of garlic, wine, and paprika that totally won me over. It's the kind of thing locals eat standing up, with a beer in one hand and mustard in the other. I've seen people just walk up, order one, and inhale it at the corner in 2 minutes. It's not fancy, it's not expensive, but it hits every time. If you want to try a real deal version, go to O Trevo in Chiado. That's the place Anthony Bourdain stopped at in his Lisbon episode, and for good reason. The bifana there is thin, juicy, and full of flavor. Another great spot is As Bifanas do Afonso, just a short walk from Rocio. It's tiny, crowded, and you'll probably be eating on the sidewalk, but that's a part of the charm. I'd honestly make this my first snack after checking into a hotel. It's that good, and that fast. Number 4, Amêijoas a Bulhão Pato. If you're into seafood, even just a little, you have to try Amêijoas a Bulhão Pato. I tried these garlicky clams at a cervejaria on my first night in Lisbon, and I've been chasing that flavor ever since. Picture a bowl of fresh clams swimming in olive oil, garlic, white wine, lemon juice, and cilantro. It smells incredible. You'll want to dip bread in the sauce before you even touch the clams. It's technically a starter, but the first time I had it, I ended up eating the entire pot as my main course. I couldn't stop. It's briny, citrusy, and ridiculously aromatic. And yeah, I used up every piece of bread just soaking up the broth. The dish is named after a 19th century poet, Bulhão Pato, who was apparently more into seafood than sonnets. For the full experience, I'd say go to Cervejaria Ramiro. It's legendary for a reason. The seafood's always fresh, the service is fast, and the vibe is pure Lisbon chaos in the best way. Another good one is Solar dos Presuntos. Slightly more formal, but still very local. This is one of those dishes that made me fall in love with Lisbon's food scene. Simple ingredients, bold flavor, and just messy enough to make you smile. Number 5, Sardinhas Assadas. This one took me by surprise the first time I had it. Sardinhas Assadas, or grilled sardines. I always thought of sardines as those little canned fish, but in Lisbon, they're a whole different thing. Big, fresh, meaty sardines, grilled over open flames and served with nothing but a slice of bread or some boiled potatoes. I first tried them during the Feast of St. Anthony in June. If you're in town for that festival, do not miss it. The streets of Alfama turn into one big barbecue, with smoke curling up from tiny sidewalk grills and music blasting from every direction. Everyone's holding paper plates piled with grilled sardines, drinking beer or vino verde out of plastic cups. I swear I ate 4 sardines standing on a curb, and it was one of the best meals of the trip. If you're not visiting during festival time, don't worry. You can still find them year-round. I love the sardines at da Moraria, which has that no frills, full flavor vibe. A Casa do Bacalhau also does a great version if you want something a bit more polished. You've got to eat them with your hands, and yeah, you'll probably get a little smoky. That's part of the experience. Just embrace it. Number 6, peixinhos da horta. I remember seeing peixinhos da horta on a menu and thinking I was ordering fish. And then green beans showed up. But they were battered and fried and surprisingly addictive, like tempura, but with a Portuguese soul. Turns out the name means little fish from the garden, which makes sense once you see them. The green beans are lightly battered and golden brown, but when they're done right, they're crispy on the outside and still tender inside. Squeeze a little lemon over them, grab a glass of vino verde, and you've got the perfect snack. The first time I had them was at Taberna da Rua das Flores, and I wasn't even that hungry. But they brought out a small plate, and before I knew it, they were gone. I've also had a great version at Casa do Alentejo, inside this old Moorish-style building that feels like a secret palace in the middle of Lisbon. These don't always get the spotlight, but they should. They're light, crunchy, and somehow comforting. I've ordered them every time I've gone back. Number 7, caracóis. All right, this one might not be for everyone, but if you're feeling adventurous, try caracóis. They're tiny snails cooked in a herby garlicky broth, and they pop up all over Lisbon from late spring through summer. The first time I saw the handwritten sign that said, "Ha caracóis," I wasn't even sure what it meant. But a local told me you have to try them while you're here, so I did. I'll be honest, at first I was hesitant, but once I got the hang of pulling them out with a toothpick and letting them soak in that broth, I was hooked. It's more about the ritual than the portion. You get a little bowl, a cold beer, and you just go slow, snail by snail. My favorite place so far has been Solar dos Caracóis in Sete Rios. It's super casual with outdoor seating and a crowd that feels like they've been all coming here for years. Another classic is O Palácio na Alcântara, where they bring them out hot, herby, and just spicy enough. If you're in Lisbon during the season, this is one of the most local things you can eat. Don't knock it until you try it. Number 8, Arroz de Marisco. Let's finish big with Arroz de Marisco, Portugal's ultimate seafood rice. It's like paella's messier, saucier cousin, and I mean that in the best way. I had it for the first time at Marisqueira Uma in Baixa, and the dish was so full of prawns, mussels, clams, and tiny bits of crab that I didn't even see the rice at first. The broth is rich and garlicky, tomato-based, and cooked with the shellfish so the flavor gets deep and briny. It's not dry like Spanish rice. It's almost like a thick stew. They usually bring it out still bubbling in the pot, and the smell alone could stop traffic. I've also had an elevated version at Cervejaria Ramiro. Yep, same place as the clams. It was a little pricier, but totally worth it. Just make sure you go hungry. This dish is rich and filling and absolutely worth every spoonful. Pro tip, ask for bread, not because you need more carbs, but because you're going to want to scrape the bottom of the bowl when the rice is gone. So that's my Lisbon food list. 8 dishes I've actually eaten, loved, and would go back for in a heartbeat. Whether it's a flaky tart, a garlic-drenched clam dish, or grilled sardines eaten standing in the street, the city knows how to feed you right. If this helped you map out your food stops in Lisbon, drop a like. And feel free to subscribe for more honest guides like this one. And hey, if there's a dish you love that I didn't mention, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for more reasons to come back. Bon appétit!